I'm Jason Klom, and this is the Comedy on Vinyl podcast. The year is 1959, the album An Evening Wasted with Tom Lehrer, the artist Tom Lehrer. And my guest this week is Will Hines. Thank you so much for being here.
Greetings, Jason. Thank you for having me.
You have a long and storied history in improv,
I
Will
do.
Hines.
My gosh, it goes on forever.
Yeah. We can talk about that first, or we can talk about Tom Lehrer. I do want to know where you discovered him.
Let's get into the album. Let's get into the album. Enough about me. My life is boring and mundane.
That's fair.
Yeah. I mean, we can get into it. I'm not opposed to it.
Sure.
I feel like we should prioritize Tommy here.
I'm fine
Lehrer.
with that.
I don't think anybody calls him Tommy. Okay, so I'm not an expert in him. I just love this album.
No,
it's one of
you
those
don't need to be.
situations where I just have a... So, An Evening Wasted with Tom Lehrer. These are like parody songs, essentially, like funny songs. He plays the piano and sings them. And so when I was a kid, I was born in 1970, so like in the 1980s when I was a young teenager and sort of comedy nerd and absorbing comedy, Tom Lehrer was kind of all over the place. Like he was still pretty present. Like on Sunday nights at 9 o'clock, there was a local radio station that played something called The Comedy Hour, and it was just some DJ's
So good.
selection of usually stand-up clips, just like that he would just put on a track from a George Carlin album or a Bill Cosby album or something, and like... But he would also do Monty Python sketches, just anything that was an album.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I learned a lot of comedy from this thing. And Tom Lehrer was a staple of this show. And Tom Lehrer would also get around, like, it was a pretty quick discovery of people who like to make, like, mixtapes. They would throw in, like, a Tom Lehrer song for fun, like The Elements or Oedipus Rex. And so... It wasn't like he was like equivalent to Monty Python in terms of obscurity, meaning not really obscure if you're a comedy nerd, like the normal people walking around my junior high school wouldn't have known who he was.
Yeah, okay.
But it wasn't, if you were a comedy nerd at all, you knew him or you'd play something. But now I feel like he's faded a bit. I don't feel like he shows up as much.
Sure.
In like the conversation or references. I feel like people don't know this guy, and what a delight! I mean, I feel like I love this album so dearly. Yeah. His self-deprecating, incredibly dry tone, I imprinted on it immediately. I absorbed that virus and incorporated it into my being at the age of 12. And even the name of this album, An Evening Wasted with Tom Lehrer, it makes me laugh. It's so funny. The cover photo is like. It's like insane. This is a live album that he recorded at Harvard or something, or in Cambridge or whatever. And like he was a professor at Harvard, and so it's him at a piano, but he's way in the background, and in the foreground is just the audience watching him. But it's like a self-deprecating photo in a way, in a very dry way. And I think the comedy is not even a little. It's a lot square. It's like, well, here's the joke, and he hits the joke front and center throughout his song. It's very like dad and mom safe.
For sure.
Like you can't miss the joke. There's nothing subtle about the humor. But I don't know. I love his energy and attitude, and it's similar to Nichols and May or Bob Newhart. It's somehow hip, even though they're bringing it right to you.
Yeah.
And it also represents an era of comedy that I romanticize, which is like suit and tie comedy, where a smarty pants Ivy League person or Ivy League seeming person would get in front of an audience of people in suit and ties and make wry comments, and everyone would just go nuts. Like, I long for that. You know what I mean? It's the opposite of Dane Cook. Not that I actually have a problem with Dane Cook, but in terms of characterizing it, it's like, I don't know. So anyway, I love it. I love it. Had you ever heard it?
Oh yeah. This one I've owned for a long time. I don't know that I've heard them all, but I feel like I feel like through listening to enough compilations and people.
He doesn't have a ton of stuff.
Song. No, not really.
He's basically got like 3 albums, and there's duplicates. There's duplicates in that, and then a 4th album that he did for That Was the Week That, This Was the Week That Was, which has the Vatican Rag, which is like his big,
so good.
The big song from that album. But He's basically got 4 albums, and it's really only 3.5 worth of material in that, and then he's out.
Yeah.
He's like the Smiths.
Yeah, very much so.
He just like cranked out a couple great albums and then vanished.
Yeah, because he had this sort of, was exhausted, didn't think there's anything left to satirize because it was doing it itself, and just said, fuck it, I'm out. And yeah.
I mean, I look, I don't know anything about this dude, but I think what I read into his banter, he's got pretty substantial banter before he introduces the songs. He sounds like a guy who is so cynical and so sarcastic that he would probably have trouble believing in anything, and I assume himself. And I could see him easily getting discouraged with the state of the world, like heading into the 60s, right? Like he records these albums in 1959 and 1960. A couple years later, the president gets shot. Then the Vietnam War escalates. Then Martin Luther King and Robert Kennedy get shot. And there's the riots in Chicago. I can see him being like, I'm not into making fun of these things. They're incredibly sad and huge. And I don't know. And then the rise of youth culture with Woodstock that I don't think he liked. He makes fun of rock and roll records. He just thinks young people are kind of stupid.
So rock and roll or other children's music.
Yeah, right. He's not enamored by the up-and-coming hippie generation. I don't think he'd be, like, charmed by, like, John Lennon or stuff.
Right.
I don't know this, right? But
sure.
So I can just imagine him dropping out in the mid-'60s, just being like, screw it. And he was a mathematics professor. He, like, published serious articles in, like, major journals and was a teacher at Harvard. He, like, had a career, so... I don't know. He did 4 albums, and that's all he wanted to do, and I love him.
Weirdly, he settled down in Santa Cruz, though, which I feel like is one of the most hippie-ish places you could settle down in.
I guess that's true, but it's probably the quality of life is awesome, right? Like you're on the ocean, and like the weather's perfect, and it's such a beautiful little town. I think he's a dude that did not live his life to make a great entry on Wikipedia. He lived his life to have great days for himself. And it sounds like maybe he did it.
That's fair. That's something we should all do.
His songs are catnip to me, though. Like, oh my gosh, I enjoy them.
Well, the thing is, like, I'm like, but I always try and listen to these as close to the interview as I can. And I'm like, well, I've heard it before. I can just flip through, and that's dumb. Why would I do that? I'm like, I had to listen to the whole thing again. You know what I mean? Like, I had to.
Sucked in, yeah.
Because I'm like, I've heard him.
He's so fun.
It's and again, there are some people whose cynicism is painful and boring and not interesting to listen to.
Yeah.
He is charming.
He's great, and his songs are pretty they're middle of the road, really. Like, I mean, like they're like a certain kind of dangerous in which they're not really. Like the first track on this album is "Poisoning Pigeons in the Park," and I read on like a music site yesterday that like there was some experiment that some animal control agency was doing where they would put strychnine in food to like reduce the sort of intrusive pigeon population, I guess, intrusive on humans' lives.
Sure.
But he takes it just as someone who's doing it for fun, like someone who like loves poisoning pigeons set to this jaunty tune. And so, I mean, I guess technically that's a dark subject matter to talk about killing animals, but it's like so silly and broad. It's like safe, dangerous.
Yeah.
But again, his voice is so world weary. I think I might like his banter more than his songs. Or that's not true. As much as his songs.
Yeah.
Like just his like for the beginning of the second track on this album, he goes, "For my first encore," and that's such like a silly wry way to move into it.
The audience fucking eats it up so hard.
The audience explodes on this.
Good God!
But I think it's him.
Yeah.
Can I just talk for an unbroken clip for an hour? Would you mind if I did that?
Yeah, that's fine.
So I'm sorry to bring up a persona non grata in modern comedy, but there's Woody Allen interviews. I loved Woody Allen as a kid. I adored him.
Yeah.
And in 1991, when it was revealed that he was sleeping with his daughter, and this is before there were child molestation accusations, just sleeping with his daughter in a consensual way, bummed me out. I know this is a selfish take to have, but I was so sad to lose a comedy hero.
Yeah.
Because I was 21 and I had just grown up loving Woody Allen, and I still have trouble ignoring old Woody Allen stuff. Long way of apologizing that I want to bring up a Woody Allen interview from the 60s when Woody Allen was like king of the hill, top of the heap, had conquered stand-up, was writing movies, was a TV writing genius, and he was under 35 or probably maybe even under 30.
Yeah.
And like he gave an interview talking about comedy writing, and one of the things he said was, he goes, "Some people just have it. And he was talking about stand-up in particular, and he's like, everybody focuses on the material. I certainly focused on the material, trying to have good jokes. He goes, but some people have it, and if you're one of those people, you don't need good material. And he named Mort Saul, who he adored, and who has nobody knows Mort Saul. His legacy is only the deepest comedy nerds know Mort Saul.
But he still performs. I should point that out every week.
Well, I love that.
It's insane.
And because of Woody Allen, I've listened to a lot of Mort Saul, and I like him the way I like Woody Guthrie because I like Bob Dylan, meaning I don't totally dig it, but I like knowing the source of something I do love.
100%.
But Woody Allen in this routine was like, and he named Nichols and May. He's like, Nichols and May. He goes, everybody just fell over from Nichols and May. This interview was like in the late 60s. And the interviewer said, he goes, well, Nichols and May kind of don't do anything anymore. Like, they kind of didn't last. Yeah. And Woody's like, that's just because they stopped. Yeah. He goes, everything they did, they knocked people's socks off. Yeah. They just did it for 3 years and then stopped. And this album reminds me of a Nichols and May album, where it's this very dry, wry, antiquated, in our modern sensibility, stuff, but the audience explodes. Yeah. But I feel it. Like, Tom Lehrer makes me giggle. Yeah. I love him way more than his material, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
that's fair.
The jokes are good, but I love him out of proportion to that material. It's actually like Weird Al Yankovic. Like, you could very cynically dismiss Weird Al as just a very simple parody guy who does the most obvious jokes on his subject. Sure. But I adore Weird Al so deeply, way beyond... I think his jokes happen to be very good, but I love him beyond the quality of those jokes. Yeah. I went to see him at the Greek Theater a month ago and couldn't wait.
Oh, I missed it.
Oh, the audience... It was like the Beatles had shown up. Like, the audience went nuts for Weird Al, which I loved.
Have you ever met him?
I have met him. I acted in a scene with him on the Comedy Bang Bang TV show.
Right. I'm a fucking idiot.
No,
because I saw it, but I did,
there's
of course.
Absolutely no reason why you shouldn't. My comedy career is so easy to miss. I would never be insulted.
Okay, but extensive, though. You've done a lot.
I've done... Yes. My own theory on my life is that in some alternate universe... I was the world's biggest comedy fan with zero talent, and I saved the life of, like, Robin Williams as a young man or something, and an angel descended and said, in exchange for this great boon to comedy, we will give you another life where you have just enough talent to meet all these people. Right. But we're not going to go nuts, so you're never going to go too big. Because I did improv with Robin Williams, for that matter.
Oh, my God.
But I did meet Weird Al. Scott Aukerman cast me in a small role on the Comedy Bang Bang TV show, and it was the season that Weird Al had replaced Reggie Watts, and I did a sketch with him, and he's a dream.
He's the nicest man on the
which
planet.
You'll hear from anybody who's ever worked with him, and it's very LA to say like so and so is nice, but it's just true for this guy. He is just like he's a genuine capital S sweetheart.
I only bring it up if they're like blow my mind sweet and nice. Him and Brian Stack are the two nicest people I've ever met.
Absolutely true. I met Brian so early in my improv career, and the next time I saw him, he's addressing me by name. Hey, Will, how are you? How are you? I think I played like a park ranger on Conan O'Brien, the NBC show in New York, i.e. a non-speaking bit part. And Brian's like, oh, you do improv at UCB, right? Oh, yeah, great. Next time, hey, Will, how's it going? Oh, remember you were here last time like a year ago. I'm like, are you nuts? Yeah. He knows my career better than like my father. And I've met Brian Stack like maybe 10 times. But yeah, Weird Al was a for real nice guy and genuinely funny and a true comedy nerd. If I may plug another podcast, my friends do a podcast called This Particular Album is Very, Very Important to Me. It's Joel Spence and Deb Tariqa. But they had Weird Al as a guest who talks about Devo's freedom of choice. And his like depth of nerd knowledge on Devo is so endearingly deep.
That's great. That's so good.
Although he's not a know-it-all snob. He just is. He's got the enthusiasm ingredient of the nerd personality. Anyway, I recommend, if you're a Weird Al nerd, that's a good window into his like just personality. Sure. Which is cool.
I'm going to have to listen to that. I also think he's one of those people whose presence and art is so powerful. I'm pretty sure he probably ended up influencing Devo in reverse, because I did see an interview once where Mark Mothersbaugh, I think half sarcastically, was saying, no, Dare to Be Stupid is like the best Devo song I've ever heard. Like, I think he really loved it.
I mean, it is a great song. It's my favorite Weird Al track. It's my favorite non-parody. Although it is a style parody. Oh yeah, Dare to Be Stupid is like, it's a top 20 song for me, unironically. I adore it so much. I I'm sure that Weird Al, I mean, he's big enough that, like, when he did Smells Like Teen Spirit, like, Cobain talked about it on The Tonight Show.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, Weird Al called us. And I mean, Cobain was mostly showing off how funny he was.
Sure.
He was like, I asked him, is it going to be about food? And he's like, no, it's going to be about how I can't understand the words to your song. And then Kurt laughs at, oh, that's funny. But, like, being parodied by Weird Al means you made it. It's like being on the cover of Rolling Stone.
Weird Al shows up in Kurt Cobain's journals, apparently, too. Quite a bit. Yeah.
I love it.
Just like basically he thinks he's the greatest musical talent of all time. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
I mean, he's a for real talented musician. But as a comedian, I feel like Weird Al, our love for Weird Al is bigger than his material. He just has it. Yeah. He's got something that we connect to and that we love. I think we can testify this by the fact that Weird Al like gave up his gimmick for late in his career. Like he gave up the nerdy dad glasses. He stopped going by Weird Al and just goes by Al Yankovic now. He did a tour of non-parody songs, and people show up for this stuff.
I wish I'd have seen that. That is the tour I wanted to see.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I think any tour with him is pretty great
for sure.
And so Woody Allen is the one who pointed out to me. It's like, yeah, some people just have it, but the names he said were so strange. They were so particular to the mid '60s, like Nichols and May, Mort Saul. And he was saying that he had it. And he goes, I found that I don't need to have great material if I let the audience get to know me, if I let them see my energy. I mean, I guess that's an arrogant thing to say, but I don't think he was wrong. And I think Tom Lehrer is now the circuitous path back to our subject. I think he's like this.
Yeah.
4 albums, but I say to you, audience, if you listen to it. Oh, and Bob Newhart's another one. Like, you know, Bob Newhart has like no energy. He's like the most boring man you can imagine. Yeah. You know, he puts nothing on the ball when he throws it. And yet he was a superstar immediately.
Yeah.
He was an immediate hit to an insane degree. And I love that album, The Button-Down Mind of Bob. I love it today. I think it holds up.
Yes, it does.
Khrushchev jokes are a little old.
Sure.
But like, I adore it.
And that was his first time performing in front of an audience.
Exactly.
That album.
Exactly.
Fuck you, Bob Newhart.
Fuck you, Bob Newhart. Like, there weren't enough tracks for an album, so he had to rent a hall and do another track. The baseball routine, I think, was added on because he didn't have enough for an album. And it was like the top-selling comedy album of the year, and it won a Grammy Award. And like,
so nuts.
And it's good. It's not just like it's a fluke of the moment that you can no longer understand. Like, it's really good.
There's some of these albums that I'm afraid they're like, oh yeah, I first heard them when I was 14 or 15. Well, of course they were funny. It's brand new to you.
Yeah.
But the ones that, like, I try and keep the ones on the wall that continue to be funny.
Yeah.
And that's definitely one of them.
I love listening to an old comedy album as a comedy nerd, but also I'm so pleased when I can still feel its power.
Yep.
Okay, so Mort Saul's an example of somebody where, all respect to Mort Saul, I don't feel it.
Sure.
I listen to it, I'm like, I don't know, it's not working for me. I can wrap my head around how this influenced people.
Yep.
And I think that's interesting, and I think he deserves his success in any career he gets. But it's not hitting me. I'm not racing back to hear Mort Saul. But when I put on Nichols and May's first album, I adored it. I adored it. Like, it was so deeply funny to me. I was so glad that I had put it on. The first Bob Newhart album does that for me. Okay, one that doesn't do it for me is the Beyond the Fringe guys, Dudley Moore, Peter Cook.
Really? Okay.
I do love them.
Sure.
And I love later Peter Cook and Dudley Moore stuff.
Oh, God. I mean, that's pure, insane, stupid improv.
Yes,
I love those
yes,
so much.
I do love it. But the Beyond the Fringe stuff with the 4 of them, Alan Bennett and the other guy, God, I can't remember his name. It's interesting to me to know comedy history, but just most of it I'm kind of bored by. I can't feel it.
Yeah. It's fair.
It's like this is stuff they're doing in whatever 1962 for like, you know, hip London audiences.
Yeah.
But Tom Lehrer hits me, man. I love it.
It's so, and I'm assuming all scripted, all of his stuff
It's
in
gotta
between,
be.
because it's so.
I don't think he's a loose
tight.
dude.
No. Well,
He's got the jokes that he does, and
just all these little. Everything's got a nice little setup. It's not. It doesn't ever seem like too much. It's a little, as you say, very wry. He's also not apologetic for being a Harvard man. Of course, it's very literate sounding at the very least.
yeah, he's not apologizing for his smarty pantsness.
No.
Like, he doesn't care about trying to win over the whole world.
No.
You sort of have to be on board for some smarty pants stuff if you're gonna like these things. Not that it's like complicated things. He's just full of references.
There is one point too where he literally tells them they're going to have to look it up because a lot of them hadn't heard the word necrophilia before.
Oh, right.
About half the audience seems to get it, and some of them are like, I think I get it, and then he's like, no, he could tell.
Yeah. The first song I ever heard from him was the Elements.
Yeah.
It was I think it was on that Comedy Hour show I listened to, and it's just him using the music of Modern Major General from Gilbert and Sullivan and listing all of the elements of the periodic table in rapid fire fashion. And that's just a parlor trick.
Yeah.
That's not even a joke. And it's somehow so funny and silly to me that I giggle every time he does it, and it just makes me laugh.
Have you memorized it? Are you one of the people who's memorized it?
No, but okay. I'm always tempted to.
Sure.
It reminds me of the Animaniacs have a song where they list all the countries of the world.
Yes.
To me, it's the same kind of joy and silliness and fun. Tom Lehrer's is even more dumb though, because chemicals, like the names are boring. And when he introduces it, he just tells the audience, "This is nothing more than a list of the elements set to a tune you might recognize." All right, and then he just does it. It's like a minute and a half or 2 minutes or whatever, and it's so fun.
And closes with one terrible rhyme joke, like a terrible rhyme.
Yeah. Those old pun rhymes, that is old man humor if I've ever heard it.
100%.
This is something like, that's all the ones that have come to Harvard. There may be many others, but they haven't been discovered, is what he says.
Yep. Woof.
Man.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah, that is a grandpa joke. But it's charming that he does it, I think. I don't know. I love him.
Yeah. It's again, like I say, I figured I didn't have to re-listen to it that much, but I got stuck listening to it all the way through.
And I think then the next track begins with, he goes, "Next slide, please."
Yes.
Like as if he's doing like an academic presentation.
And that also gets
they fall over for
holy
next slide.
Shit,
it's like they're going to give him a standing ovation.
Mm-hmm.
He's got these
college.
guys under a spell.
He does.
To an insane degree.
Where was this recorded? Because you did mention, because
it's like the something theater, I think at Harvard, like the Sanders Theater.
I think you're right.
Okay. I mean, I think it's
the joke is that this recording was made in Tom Lehrer's living room one evening with a few friends.
Okay, yeah,
very cute. Okay, well, it doesn't say here, but I think you're absolutely right.
It's somewhere at Harvard or just in Cambridge, right outside of Harvard. He didn't go too far. There's another joke on here that I like, which is if you don't like this record, you will certainly not enjoy songs by Tom Lehrer. So I read about his career just from coming on the show. Apparently, Songs by Tom Lehrer, his first album, was just like self-published, self-recorded.
Yes.
Handed out. He just handed it out to people who liked him.
Or some shit's even on there.
Yeah. I mean, that's like They Might Be Giants' first thing was just like they just had a cassette that they would mail to you. He would just performed around Harvard. He was a hoot to the students and the local faculty, so he made an album to sell just to them.
Yeah.
But it was kind of popular.
Right.
So then when he did this was like his first real album, but he did this simultaneously with a studio recording. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
So his self-published album, which is like 1953 or something like that, is Songs by Tom Lehrer. That one he's just handing out to people at Harvard.
Yeah.
Then he's performing around, whatever, and some years later gets a record deal. He does 2 records. This one, An Evening Wasted with Tom Lehrer, which is the live performance, and this is his most famous one. This is the one that you'll hear. But then he also did, I think it's more songs from Tom Lehrer simultaneous with this, which is the same track listing, same order, just in the studio.
Wow. See, I bet I own it and have never listened, and therefore did not even realize that.
I think
hilarious.
With the crowd, it's better.
Of course, yeah.
I don't know. He's just terrifically funny. Clementine, the first track on side 2, where he just does parodies of musical styles, but they're like kind of musical theater nerd. He does like a Gilbert and Sullivan, a Cole Porter parody. I mean, I don't really know enough Cole Porter songs to know how accurate he is, but it made me laugh. And then he does the modern hip take, and this is a pre-rock and roll record. So his modern hip take is like a Frank Sinatra Rat Pack-ish version. God, it makes me laugh.
Is there, if you hadn't heard him on the radio, what are the odds you would have heard him at all, do you think? Like, I don't know, what was your, first of all, what kind of comedy was in the house growing up?
None. I was the comedy.
All right.
Well, that's not true. My mother was funny, but I don't really think that I inherited comedy nerd things from my boy, am I getting this wrong? My mother died when I was 16. She's 40, so like sometimes I forget, even though I was old enough to be friends with her, I underestimate her influence. I dove into comedy hard after.
Okay.
But she was so she was a huge fan of Steve Martin and Saturday Night Live, like original cast Saturday Night Live. To the point where, like, when Lorne Michaels returned to the show, he left the show in 1981 and then came back in 85 or 86, I think. 86. Like, to my mother, it was like an event. Like, we stayed up to watch the first episode that he had produced again because it's like, oh, it's going to be back. And it wasn't back. That the first half of that season still kind of stumbled over itself while they found their footing. But so I guess she was a comedy nerd. But it wasn't the kind of thing where there was just tons of stuff around the house. Like, I felt like I was dragging in old National Lampoon issues and Firesign Theater albums and stuff that my friends had told me about. So there was only the comedy of the day in my house, and this is late 70s, so it's like Steve Martin, SNL, Joan Rivers, Cosby, and maybe that's it. And then once we got cable, I would watch Richard Pryor specials on Showtime.
Sure.
And Monty Python was on PBS, and that's it, I think. And then everything else was me and my friends in high school being snobs and scouring the racks. So I think I wouldn't have discovered him. Well, again, he would show up on mixtapes of my smart friends.
Yeah, okay.
Like my friends who were going to like Smith or Harvard or Dartmouth would give me mixtapes where they would have like kind of crazier stuff that this is pre-internet, right? So it was a bit harder to be exposed to things.
Sure.
And it was like you'd have certain friends who were kind of like media absorbers who would open your eyes up to other stuff.
Yeah.
And the Elements and Oedipus Rex would show up on some friends' things.
That's fair.
A friend of mine who went to Columbia gave me a tape that had the Elements on the end of one of the sides.
It's kind of extra personal, though, right? With somebody handing you a cassette tape.
Oh, yeah. You listen to it with a lot more intent.
For sure.
Or at least I did. Yeah, I got introduced to Joni Mitchell that way. I had never really been that into Joni Mitchell, and somebody had the Circle song on a mixtape, and that led me into that. Supertramp I discovered via mixtapes. Not that they were a huge band, but pop music was really not in my house. My parents, so my mother, I'm realizing now, was a comedy fan, but neither of my parents were like big music fans.
Interesting.
It was just like right down the middle, Beatles, Motown, and like that's it.
Yeah.
Like we had like 15 records.
Okay.
And like that's it. So I discovered all that stuff later too.
Yeah. Do you think without this kind of discovery of comedy in the way you did, I mean, do you think it was inevitable hopping into comedy for you, or was there another path that you felt like?
Oh yeah, it was not inevitable. I was a computer programmer and pretty good at it. I think my mom dying was traumatic. Sure. It was bad. I don't recommend it. I'm against cancer. I'm going to come out and say I'm anti-cancer. I think it's a bad thing. I think it messed me up and set me down a path that I was not temperamentally suited to.
Okay.
I think I just like couldn't bear. I felt lonely after she was gone, and it took me a long time. I'm going to say 20 years before I learned how to have conversations that made me feel heard, if I may get therapy-ish on fair. You. But so I was kind of like, I couldn't. The things that I was good at was like sitting in a desk by myself working.
Yeah, I
was great at math. I was great at computer programming. I was just good at homework, but that's lonely. I was really good at school.
Yeah,
but I could not bear when I finished college. I never ever wanted to do grad school because I just pictured it sitting at a desk alone, and I wanted people around me.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't really an extrovert, I both wanted people around me and they annoyed me to no end.
Yeah.
But so I got into things like stand-up and improv just because I wanted to be around fun people.
Yeah.
I couldn't bear the working life. Just to go to a cubicle every day. Like in my mid-20s, I was like, I can't stand this. Like, I just didn't know what my options were. I was like, well, this is life. Like, this is what you do. You go to a job. And I couldn't imagine what you could do to support yourself. I took improv classes just to be around the people. I was good at it. I wasn't even a phenomenon at it. I was good enough. If I hadn't discovered the UCB theater when it was small, I don't think it would have become part of my life.
Okay, yeah.
Because I wasn't good enough to penetrate something like the Second City or the way the UCB is now.
Okay.
But that time, the bar was lower. The bar was lower in terms of how good you had to be. And also, if you loved it and just hung around, you'd become part of it. And that's no longer true.
Right, okay.
But I loved it. I went to shows 5 or 6 nights a week. I was intoxicated by the UCB. I was moderately good at it. And so that was enough to become part of the scene.
Right.
And I had good taste. Like I knew even way beyond my abilities. I knew what was good and what was bad. I knew what the good shows were, who the good people were. And sometimes having good taste can get you in with the good people. They trust you. They want you to be tech for their show.
For sure, yeah.
They ask you to read their sketches,
Yeah.
You do like little 2-line parts in their things just because they know that you get it.
Were the classes, they had to have been the people who were teaching you were your age, so it had to have been different than what it is
Not
now.
only yes, I've thought about this many times. I took classes at the UCB in 1999, 2000, 2001 primarily. I would do stuff after that, but that's when I really took all my classes. And the UCB theater, the UCB, the Upright Citizens Brigade, the 4-person comedy troupe, Matt Besser, Matt Walsh, Amy Poehler, Ian Roberts, they arrived in New York in 96, started doing improv teaching classes. They formally got a theater together in 99. Okay? I started taking classes the end of 99.
Okay.
And the people teaching had only done improv with them for a year and a half.
Yeah.
So you'd be taking improv from somebody who had done it for 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe they had done it, the UCB themselves had only done it for 8 years.
Right.
And then there were some people who had studied on their own who also, by the time I had taken them, I'm thinking of Michael Delaney and Billy Merritt, they had done it for 7 years. But as I'm talking to you now, I've done improv for 20 years.
Yeah.
I teach with a curriculum. I've had weeks of discussion with other people of how to teach improv. I'm the hours piled up would amount to weeks and weeks. When I took it, it was not codified. There was no curriculum.
Yeah.
They themselves had only done it a year and a half.
Right.
Everyone was flying by the seat of their pants. It was much more of an apprenticeship. It was much more, you
feeling,
got into a room with Paul Scheer. He was really good at it. And he would just be like, well, this is what I do. Get up and try to do it that way. And then you would do it. He'd be like, I wouldn't have done that. How about this? In a nice way.
Yeah.
And it was almost out of humbleness, being like, look, I don't know the magic formula. Here's how I do it.
Interesting.
And then you would take a class from Jackie Clark, and she'd be like, well, here's how I do it. And here's what stuck with me. And if you took from the UCB, they were a bit more formal. They'd be like, no, yes, and if this is true, it also is true.
Okay, I see.
They had all the mantras they learned from Dell and from Chicago teachers.
I really assumed that the Del Close thing was in everything, that was everywhere, but that was more specifically the 4. Is that what you're saying? I'm understanding correctly.
I mean, the big Dell mantras everybody uses, right? Everyone says yes and. Everyone says top of your intelligence. Everyone says, treat your partners like poets and geniuses and stuff like that. All the Dell stuff gets said. But so my Jackie and Paul and those guys would say that, but it just wasn't in their bones. They had never studied with Dell.
Yeah.
We were doing improv for 20 people, 30 people at most. It was just for each other. So no, we didn't know anything.
Yeah.
I'm sure the teachers were not as good as they are now.
Sure.
And so you had to put up with whole classes where you learned nothing. Or you take a workshop with somebody who was an unbelievably funny person, and they just didn't know how to explain it. And so you would just be doing improv in front of them, and they would just laugh or they wouldn't, and that's all you got out of it.
Yeah.
And that was just part. You just had to take enough classes that you got the good stuff eventually. I mean, I loved it. It was like the Wild West. It felt like we were just way out on the fringes of the solar system, alone in a desolate theater with nobody watching. But I just had the good taste to know these people are the funniest people I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
The 4 were already becoming very successful. Certainly Amy was. But I was like, and this is no surprise to any comedy nerds listening now, but I was like, this Jason Mantzoukas guy is just as funny as them, even though he's like just on one of the Herald teams.
Yeah.
And that Andy Daly guy, I think, is super funny. And Jackie Clark is like knocking me over, and like the whole, and then the people coming up. I was like, this Zach Woods guy's making me laugh. Joe Wingert, Neil Casey, I love them. Boy, that Bobby Moynihan guy, who's a student, who's younger than me, who's not on a team.
Yeah.
I'd like to see his student show.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a lost king. This is a hidden kingdom of phenomenal people, and I was right.
Right. Yeah.
I was 100% right. They all became like fixtures in comedy, and it was great.
It's just nice that the place had to exist for people like themselves and for you. I feel like just to, it feels like a spark, because like you sort of maybe know what comedy is, and then you maybe know you want to do it, or maybe it's all an experiment until you're in the right group of people, and then it pops, and it's like, oh fuck, I could keep doing this.
I mean, I made the conscious decision when I was 30 and I discovered the UCB that I was like, I'll just stay here until they kick me out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't like anything else that I've ever done. I only like this. Life is short. My mother died when she was 40. Maybe I've only got 10 years left. Right. I'll spend it here.
Yeah.
I don't think that's bad, and I'm still there.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I love it.
I'm glad you do.
I coached a Herald team last night, and they were hilarious.
That's so good.
And I teach classes twice a week, and I adore it.
I'm glad it still
never
means that much
regretted
to
it.
you, and will continue to.
I can't imagine it not. I mean, it's a different world than it was, and I am nostalgic for the intimacy of the old days.
Sure.
But there's other things that are it's way more diverse. It was all white dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not all, but like 95% or something. And like, that's way different now, and that's better.
Mm-hmm.
The content of the comedy is way more interesting because of that. We're better at teaching.
Mm-hmm.
We've developed way better terms and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Besser is still like involved. Like Besser
that's great.
Goes over the curriculum and talks to teachers and watches stuff. And like the guys who taught us back then and Ian does a drop-in class every Sunday.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
They still love it. I'm like, I don't know. If you've got it in your bones, you can't get rid of it.
For sure. Are you, because music sometimes makes its way into improv too, are you musically inclined at all?
Yeah.
You are.
I have a really unimpressive amount of musical talent.
Okay.
I do a show called Bad Guitar Solos, where I play lead guitar with a good band, and I just do my best, and I pretty much suck at lead guitar. It's just it's beyond me.
Mm-hmm.
But I do my legit best attempt to play like Hotel California or Sweet Child of Mine, and it's bad, and it's really terrible, and the band is good, and that's a fun show. But I am trying to teach myself guitar. And I am going to record an album, I've decided.
Fantastic.
I've written 5 songs. I'm going to write 5 or 6 more, and then make my friends help me record an album. I'm moderately talented at best.
Yeah.
But I love it. So.
In these songs, though, these are just going to be straight music, or are they going to be funny?
It's going to be straight music. They'll be accidentally funny.
Sure. Okay.
Because of my incompetence, and because I am just sort of letting my freak flag fly in terms of. They Might Be Giants is my favorite band. Some would say that they just write theme songs for cartoons. Even all their songs, maybe you could see them as theme songs for cartoons.
Yeah, maybe.
But I love them, and so my songs are very verbally dense and sort of square and kind of... they sound like they want to be parody songs, but they're not. They're serious. Committed deadpan might be the best way to... But I'm not trying to be funny on purpose. I'm just going to... One of my songs is called... Tell the peasantry I'm comprised of squares. So that's not a joke per se.
No.
But it's like weird.
But if I saw it, I would immediately know you were a They Might Be Giants fan. It
right.
Like
so
that.
it's wherever that lives. It's going to be its mixture of comedy and music.
Oh, that's so good. It almost does. It sounds quite perfectly like it's Tom Lehrer and They Might Be Giants wrote a song together, or one covered the other.
It's like
great.
I'm going to be the world's shittiest They Might Be Giants band is what I'm going to be. I'll be like the lost member who they rightly kicked out or something like that.
That's fine with me.
It's fine with me too. Maybe you and 20 other people can watch me do it someday for free in the UCB.
100%.
Because I'm going to try to use my clout there to try to let myself do a concert.
Oh, that's so good.
In the free room or something like that. We'll see.
You should
stand by for that.
How about your banter, though? Are we going to have in-between song banter?
Oh, baby, I'll be crushing the banter. If there's one thing I have on regular musicians, it's an ability to talk to the audience. I mean, musicians are such idiots usually when they do banter. It's like they've never had a conversation with anybody. Someone will play like the most beautiful song, and they'll just like put an absolute spell on you with their voice and their guitar playing. Then they'll step to the mic and be like, this next one is a song that I wrote. It's on a record. And then they start and you cry. And it's like, what happened? What, you don't know how to talk to a human being? I don't know. Like, I find that to be true of a high percentage of musicians.
Yeah. Whereas between songs, They Might Be Giants are funny as fuck.
Oh, man. The between song banter for They Might Be Giants. One of the most recent times I saw them, Flansburgh stepped up to the mic. It was a couple years ago. He's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, I'm 50 years old." And then like launched into the next.
I think I was there for that.
And I really loved it. Very early, I saw They Might Be Giants in 1990 for the first time, and it was just the two of them in a drum machine.
Oh my God!
And they introduced the song "Twisting," which is on Flood.
Mm-hmm.
And Flansburgh's introduction for it was, "This is one of our She Hates You, Yeah, Yeah, Yeah series. It's called Twisting." I was like, man, that's funny. Man, I adore them.
It's annoying how funny they are, really.
Yeah.
Because I could listen to them just banter. I'm sure if the two of them had a podcast, oh God, if the two of them had a podcast, I would.
I would love it, although it'd be 90% Flansburgh, but I'd still be on board for it.
Yeah. Well, because you just have to picture Linnell kind of grinning off to the side, and then you'd be good. Then you'd get what was going on.
I'm going to plug another podcast.
Please.
Two friends of mine, Connor Ratliff and JD Amato, they do a podcast called 12 Hour a Day. Have you ever heard of this? Every episode is 12 hours long. 12 hours of unbroken audio. They hang out for 12 hours and record it.
Beautiful.
Yep. They're good friends of mine. When I moved to LA, they just started doing it, so I would listen to these episodes because I'd missed them. Mm-hmm. I listened to like 4 episodes, then I was like, I can't do it anymore. It's too insane. But John Flansburgh is a guest on episode 8 or something, and he hangs out with them for like 3 hours.
Oh my God.
They have lunch with Flansburgh, and so the first 2 or 3 hours is Flansburgh talking to Connor and JD, and it's great.
That's so good.
If you're a TMBG fan.
Yeah, of course.
It's some good unvarnished Flansburgh convo.
That's so wonderful.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite track on this entire thing? I don't think we've gone over that.
Oedipus Rex.
Yeah. Yeah. God. Yeah.
I also love the Masochism Tango. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm soft spot for the Elements. Mm-hmm. I'll pick Oedipus Rex though. His rhymes are pretty amazing.
For sure.
I listened to the Vatican Rag before I came over here, which is on a different album, and he rhymes transubstantiation with something in that song. That's pretty funny.
I feel, and the best part of that is that's the joke. I feel like it's like, hey, I managed to rhyme transubstantiation.
He also rhymes abdomen with Roman, which I think is really funny. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. I know he's just being cute, but I find him cute, man. I find him adorable. Okay. I'm attracted to him. Maybe I'm into the record.
That's fair. I mean, he's still around. I've got his phone number.
Yeah,
I do. He's in the book. He's notoriously in the book, but will not do interviews. He might talk to you, but he won't do an interview.
That's tried. Like Steve Ditko, the creator of Spider-Man, was like that. You could
really?
I mean, he just passed away last year, but you could walk up to his studio in New York. He was listed on the directory in the bottom of the building. Knock on his door, and he'd answer, and then would refuse to talk to you. Which I was like, that's
delightful.
Weird, dude. You're weird. You like it.
Yeah. Of course.
You
like you
like
want to turn people away.
Yeah.
That's so fucking funny to me.
Yeah. I mean, I would go see a Tom Lehrer concert, no doubt.
Absolutely.
I mean, even though playing this record is exactly what it would be. Mm-hmm. But it's just like I'd go see Neutral Milk Hotel. I'd go see Jeff Mangum in concert, even though it's just going to be that album. Mm-hmm. These people who just did like one perfect thing and went away, I'm like, God bless you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's the thing we always
Not me. I'm doing a million mediocre things.
Right.
Hoping that one of them catches fire. Yeah. Hasn't happened yet, but I'm waiting, baby.
But to be fair, every time you're on Comedy Bang Bang, when I see your name pop up, I'm always looking forward to whichever delightfully dumb character.
Well, I'm hit or miss. Doing Comedy Bang Bang is one of the most fun things I've ever done. Mm-hmm. There is zero prep. You walk in, Ackerman goes, "How should I introduce you?" You tell him, and then he just starts. There's not even chit-chat before the show.
Good.
And then it just starts, and you're in it, and then he has no idea what's coming. Uh-huh. I've brought in characters that have been absolute zeros, huge misses that... very early into it, I'm like, oh, this isn't working and I'm doomed. Mm-hmm. And then I've had some that were super fun. And then most of them are kind of in the middle where they hit little streaks that are good. I'm not like your Hall of Fame bang bangers where they just like Adomian who just comes in and he's on fire the whole time. I did one with Adomian though where I sat next to him and it was like being next to a nuclear explosion.
I can only imagine.
Like, he was so funny immediately.
Yeah.
And he didn't pick what character he was going to do until he was introduced.
Woof.
He was like writing down notes on. He was either going to do Sebastian Gorka or Jesse Ventura, and the last minute went with Ventura, and he just was so funny.
Right.
Gosh, it was crazy.
I
sat next to a lot of the Bang Bang luminaries. I've done it with Paul F. Tompkins a couple times, Lapkus a couple times. It's really fun doing it with those guys. I haven't been with Daly.
It's interesting that that's a show hosted by a guy who's not an improviser, but he's very good at it.
He's excellent at it.
Yeah.
He's just such a good comedic mind.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the show to me. Like, as funny as the guests are, like, Ackerman is like, he's the show. What he's doing is so incredibly difficult, I think.
Yeah.
Like, he's never at a loss. He does no prep. He has a weirdly encyclopedic memory of all the past episodes.
Yeah, that I don't get.
And an instant recall of the current episode. Like, any callback in the current episode, he doesn't miss a trick. And that makes everybody stand up straighter.
For sure.
It's just a blast. It is as fun as it sounds like it is.
When he was here, he talked about the 2,000-year-old man, and he picked smartly the Carl Reiner part. He picked the part that is like the kind of not. Well, yeah,
Reiner
part,
keeps Mel Brooks going
100%, and to rein in a man like Mel Brooks who won't fucking shut up.
Yeah,
and I love him, but you listen to the man even in a regular interview, won't stop talking.
Yeah,
to rein him in, that's a skill.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ackerman's way better. I would say Ackerman's better than Reiner because Ackerman is also hilarious. Like, he says so many funny things. I mean, the plan for Comedy Bang Bang as a podcast sounds to me like a bad idea. And then it works every time. And that's because of him. I mean, and also amazing guests, certainly. But even when the guests are duds, I've been a dud guest. I've been on episodes where everybody was kind of a dud, and it's still pretty good, and that's because of him. I mean, he has to work a lot harder on those shows. Sean Clements is the reason I met Scott Ackerman, the co-host of Hollywood Handbook, old UCB friend, and because of Clements, basically, I was gifted one of the great joys of my weird little comedy career.
What was the first character you did? Was it
on Bang Bang? I did an alien called Q-Thor, who was an alien spirit that had accidentally inhabited a shitty Earth body, which was me. And I had a whole complicated... This really didn't work. I had a whole complicated backstory, and it was too much. Patton Oswalt was on there, and it worked okay. And then the next time, I think I was just a librarian who had a literacy drive. And then I just started doing different people every time, intending on yes-anding them into an insane life story that could never be brought back.
Right.
That was more fun. But my first appearance was on Hollywood Handbook, where Clements had myself and my friend Neil Casey as his lawyers. He and Hayes Davenport, the co-host of Hollywood Handbook, had Neil Casey and I on as the lawyers to negotiate a salary. So Ackerman and Jeff Ulrich, the founders of Earwolf, were there to represent Earwolf. So Neil and I were trying to negotiate a salary. Currently, they were paid $0. We were trying to get, I think, like $50,000 an episode. And I ended up negotiating away the rights to Hollywood Handbook and had them pay $5,000 to Ackerman or something like that.
Delightful.
And after that, Ackerman's like, "Oh, you and Neil got to come on Bang Bang." He asked us like right after. And Neil couldn't do it, and I was like, "Well, I could do it." Is that lame? And then that's how I got in there.
So I have a real problem with things being finite versus. I'm not on a lot of people's podcasts other than my own, right? So I love the idea that he has only 4 albums. You can keep track of everything you've done.
Yes.
I don't know if you're a neurotic person who is driven crazy by the fact you've probably done hundreds of podcasts and a million improv shows.
I mean, I'm a completist by nature. I had to give over to the fact that my career is not collectible. Like, it's so diluted and disparate and sprinkled over so many dumb things that you can't get the complete Will Hines. I mean, I don't think you'd want to. I think that would be an unsatisfying quest, but you couldn't even do it. You know, whereas, like, you can get, like, all the Bob Newhart albums. There's, like, not that many.
Yeah, and buy his shows on DVD and all that shit.
And are you speaking hypothetically?
No, I have most of his shows on DVD.
Yeah, I love him. And there are some comedians like that where they just have a small amount of stuff. But then there's people who are, like they're just on everything. And I don't know. It's just the way the world is now.
Yeah.
You just try to build 1 million cheap robots and hope one of them, through laws of Darwinism, survives.
Yeah. That's fair.
No, I'm not. On my own podcast that I make, I'm frustrated because I want to make a better podcast and I don't know quite what to do. I'm sort of stuck. I don't know what to do there.
I do 3 podcasts a week, and I still don't know what the hell to do. The podcasts that make the most always have segments and shit, and I can never quite bring myself about just to have segments, except for this one, which is in a couple sentences why I recommend people listen to this album.
I want me to do that now?
Yeah.
Say it again. Give me my instructions exactly, and I'll do it.
In a couple of sentences, recommend why to listen to this album. Maybe you've never heard of Tom Lehrer.
Okay, if you've never heard of Tom Lehrer, so this is it's a good comedy history. It's a window into the past. Mm-hmm. And it's joyful and short.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
And it's also
no, that's not true. If you'd never heard of them, I'd be like they're parody songs from a very cynical smarty pants who was hilarious even though he was a Harvard professor of mathematics. I think that's the intriguing way to do it.
No, that's good. And they hold up even if you don't particularly get the musical reference. It's just as like
there's not too many references. There's not too many.
Although, stylistically, maybe he's doing some stuff that I just can't track because I don't know anything about musical history.
But, right. But that all you don't need to know any of that.
No, not to.
It's not like a news parody where he's really making fun of the issues of the day. And,
right.
You know what I mean? There's not like Walter Cronkite jokes in these things.
Sure, that's fair. That's fair. It doesn't ever feel like a 1959 album to me. That is one thing.
Feels way more modern than that.
Yeah, it does. Especially with a few like the Masochism Tango is like very like. There's a lot of stuff about perverts, like people poison pigeons, people who beat each other up while they do it. Yeah. It's fine. I'm not judging it. I just love that they're
on his first album. They were more risque. He had "I Got It from Agnes," which is all about STDs.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that.
And like he was trying to make an album that was more family friendly.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
With this,
that's really funny to me.
So the Masochism Tango is his family friendly stuff.
I just love
because it's done in vocabulary that doesn't pop out to young ears.
Absolutely,
like it doesn't sound blue.
Yeah.
You could play it in front of your kids and they wouldn't know.
They wouldn't if you don't know.
By the time they're old enough to know the words, they're old enough to hear it.
Yeah, Oedipus only works if you know the story.
Yeah, the Oedipus one, even though it's telling about this
so good
having sex with your mom.
Mm-hmm.
God, it makes me laugh so much. There's some verse where it's like maybe the lesson from this is to be nice to your mother, get her flowers and a hat, but maybe you better leave it at that or something. It's such a funny way to describe Oedipus.
Yeah, it's delightfully disturbing. I love it. And his voice is unique. There's nobody else who sings like this man.
No, that's true. He's got that low voice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have too big a register, so he writes for his own. He's a really adept piano player.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's sort of impressive in the background. It's like Steve Martin on his banjo. It's like, wow, the incidental skill you're showing here is formidable.
It blows my mind every time. Steve, come back to comedy. Oh, he still does it. Him and Martin Short.
I saw him and Martin Short's show.
How was that?
It was great. I hadn't seen the Netflix show, which I guess apparently it was just the Netflix show done live, like with a little bit more padded out. But it was just super charming and funny and great, and they were just hilarious, and I loved them. Not sold out.
Really?
You could have bought tickets.
That's very weird to me.
You could have walked up and bought tickets.
I should have.
Weird Al, super sold out.
Of course it was. Every time.
Yeah, sold out early.
I've never been to a more packed show than a Weird Al show ever.
I mean, I think I'd be mad if I was Steve Martin. I mean, I love Weird Al, but I wouldn't want him crushing me like that. But he crushed him. He crushed Steve Martin.
Okay, well, I would like you to tell people where they can find you.
Okay.
Talk about podcasts that you do. Okay. Whatever the hell you want.
I do a million things, people. But here's what I'd like you to focus on. I have a podcast I do with my brother called Screw. We're just going to talk about comics. That's comic books. We do it every week. My brother and I grew up loving comics. I know it's really hard to find two middle-aged men who want to tell you about their obsession with comic books, but we've located it for you, and it's in our podcast. And I have a Twitter account, Will Hines, WILLHINES, that is currently all lies. It is all lies, and some people I think still think I'm telling the truth, but I'm like talking about auditions that I'm getting and scripts I'm selling, and none of it's true. My career is at an all-time low, but you can enjoy my Twitter account. And then I have an improv book. This is only if you already like improv. Regular people, stay away. You will hate this book. But improv nerds, I have a book called How to Be the Greatest Improviser on Earth. And you can find that on a little old book site called Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to plug.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, my pleasure, Jason.
This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you. Yes, I concur.
Good. I'm glad. You're welcome back anytime, of course.
All right. I'll be back tomorrow.
Okay, perfect. I don't know what the hell to promote. Follow me on Instagram. There you go. Jason
What's
Klom,
your Instagram?
JASONKLAM. I'm an idiot. Full name on Instagram, but J Klom on Twitter. No reason. I also have Jason Klom, but I don't use it for me. It's very stupid. I should have switched around a long time ago.
You could delete your Jason Klom and change your handle of J Klom.
I could, but then see the thing is, I use the Jason Klom for my alter ego from my improv movies that I did for a while, where I was running. He was running for president. He's a moron. I'm less of a moron.
I see.
So it's one of those.
Yeah, you're right.
things,
You're trapped.
You know
You're trapped.
I'm fucked.
You're trapped.
And then that's it. Follow me on Instagram. #TheProfessionalBlur. That's when I put photos and videos of me doing very stupid extra work, where you can see me for about 5 frames. It's fun. You do that enough. It's like, well, get something out of it other than the little bit of pay they give you. So that's what I do.
All right.
Again, Will, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you guys for listening. And as always, have a good thing. Comedy on Vinyl is a production of StolenDress Entertainment. It is produced by Mike Worden and is hosted and edited by Jason Klom. Our theme song was composed and performed by Richard Levinson. You can email us at podcast@comedyonvinyl.com. You can also send snail mail to StolenDress Entertainment, P.O. Box 805, Burbank, California, 91503. Subscribe to Comedy on Vinyl on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and anywhere else you can find podcasts. Give us a 5-star rating and write us a review. It helps. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Comedy on Vinyl, or find everything in one place at comedyonvinyl.com. A major portion of Comedy on Vinyl has been underwritten by Stand Up Records. Please visit standuprecords.com for all your comedy needs and tune in to the new Stand Up Records channel available on the Roku, where you can also find select episodes of this podcast. Visit StolenDress.com to listen to our other podcasts, watch videos, and imbibe freely of our multimedia content going back 15 plus years. StolenDress Entertainment.
Hey, it's my turn.